Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bible in 1 year with the preacher's husband. Today we are starting the book of Numbers, and in the book of Numbers it starts right out with a census. Let's count some heads, people. So the Lord spoke to Moses and said, you need to count these folks. And Moses said, all right, I'm going to do it. How am I going to count these folks though? And God said, you're going to count the names of every male one by one. You and Aaron are to register those who are 20 years old or more by their military divisions. In other words, everyone who can serve in Israel's army. And then they're going to break them up by each tribe. He's going to do it by tribe. So each tribe will have a set number. And once they got done counting, all those registered numbered 603,550 people. Now, that only included men ages 20 and above that could serve militarily. It did not include women. It did not include children or people who were 19 or under, boys and girls. It did not include any of those, and it did not include any of the elderly that could not physically handle being in the military. Also, it did not include the Levites either. Now, the Levites, they were not registered at all by a tribe. And the reason for this was they were to be the ones who would be the priests. They were the ones who would basically guard the tabernacle. They would make sure that everything was clean and taken care of and that no unauthorized people were able to go inside the central tabernacle. Now, the biggest of these groups was Judah. The tribe of Judah was the largest. It had over 74,600 more than both of Ephraim and Manasseh combined. So they were a huge group. Now that number, 603,550, is pretty consistent biblically throughout the Bible. We find that number of 600,000 in chapter 11, verse 21. We also find it again. We found it before in Exodus chapter 12, verse 37. You're also going to see another census when we get to chapter 26. And you'll notice that the number only dropped by 1,820 men militarily over the course of 40 years that they went through the wilderness. So I found that interesting. Now they all had to gather in their own areas by tribe, and they all stayed together as they traveled. And look how they traveled there. You got Moses there in the middle, number 1, Aaron and his sons. Number 2 is Kohath. Gershon is 3, and 4 is Merari. Then you got, of course, the tent in the middle. The Levites are going to be there in the middle taking care of the tent. Then you've got Zebulun, Issachar, and Judah to the east. To the south, you've got Gad, Simeon, and Reuben. To the west, you've got Benjamin, Manasseh, and Ephraim. And then to the north, you've got Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. Now, I did mention that they did not consider the Levites a tribe of Judah. I just found that fascinating because later on in the Bible, Levites are listed as a tribe. They are listed as one of the 12 tribes, but Dan is not. So maybe that could be a little bit of a spoiler alert, but what do you think is going to happen to the tribe of Dan? And why do you think the Levites are not mentioned here, but later on there will be? So there they are, organized into their camps. Of course, they were all given a designated area. They had like a flag or a placard to go gather around. And this is how they traveled. That's pretty much it. I was fascinated by the fact that the way they traveled was in the shape of a cross. Do you think that's foreshadowing anything? I just found that fascinating. Well, that's all I have for you today. If there's anything that stood out to you that I missed, that I skipped over because I just did a quick summary today, put it in the comment section and let's talk about it. And tomorrow we are going to go through Numbers chapter 3 and 4. So I hope to see you again tomorrow for another episode of The Bible in 1 Year with the Preacher's Husband. Click that like button, that subscribe button, and of course click the little jingle bell so you can get notified the next time that I upload a video, which will be tomorrow. See you then.